Good morning, Boker Tov. Welcome back to 10 Minutes of Meaning with tremendous gratitude to our generous sponsor, Shmuel and Esther Shayowitz. In honor of their parents and children, please help yourself to coffee and to cookies, to pastries this morning. We have begun Iggeres HaRamban. We have now moved over. We completed all of Mesilas Yesharim, so honored and privileged to have learned it together. Those who want can find it all online. We are now learning Iggeres HaRamban. We gave the background. The Ramban wrote this letter to his son when he arrived in Eretz Yisrael, and his son remained back in Spain. And he begins, and he made the promise, if you read this letter once a week, some have the custom to read it once a day, Hashem will answer all of our tefillos. He will protect us. How can the Ramban be so confident? Because he's not talking about himself. He's talking about the principles that are contained therein. And the first is a pasuk from Mishlei. It's not even his own words. The Ramban begins this letter, this message to his son, by invoking the pasuk in Mishlei Perek Aleph pasuk Shema b'ni musar avicha. And last week, we spent entirely just on the word Shema. Listen, hear. We described that Shema doesn't just mean audibly to listen or hear. Shema means understand, comprehend, absorb, integrate, be present, be able to accept what is being said, what is being told to you. That's true in the halacha shomea ka'una. You need to actually understand, not just audibly hear the sound waves. Person has to comprehend, the person has to understand in order to be yotzei. So similarly here, the Ramban is turning to his son. And he's using the words of Shlomo HaMelech, and he's saying, Shema b'nei. Listen. Be a listener. Be a listener. So many people are so busy posting and talking and sharing and expressing their opinion, they have an inability to listen. But if you don't listen, you can't grow. As we mentioned, Hashem gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should listen twice as much as we speak. There's so much wisdom in the world. L'matzasi guf tov mishtika shtika. Listening, quiet listening, is the greatest way to grow and to learn. The second word, the Ramban is quoting this pasuk in Mishlei, Shema b'ni. Listen, my son, my son. Why does Shlomo HaMelech use the word b'ni, my son? And why is it so important to the Ramban that he uses this pasuk to first engage his son? So the word b'ni can mean literally, biologically, genetically, it can mean my son. Son, listen up. Listen up, son. It can mean son, my son. Listen carefully. You are accountable to me. I'm your parent. You have to honor me. You have to have awe and fear of me. So listen up. Listen up, son, b'ni. But b'ni can mean something so much more as well. The Mashgiach Rav Dan Segel, in his commentary on Iggeres Ramban, and others say that b'ni in this context doesn't only mean biologically my son. It means when is a person most predisposed? When is a person most open to hearing, to listening, to changing, to transforming, to growing? When they feel that the person communicating with them is doing it out of love. It's coming from love. It's coming from affection. It's coming from a genuine care and concern to make you better. When a stranger walks up to you and criticizes, your guard goes up. You're going to tell me what I need to improve? You're going to tell me what I should do better? You're going to criticize me? Who are you? We don't even know each other. I don't even know if you care about me. I don't know where this is coming from. All of a sudden, a wall goes up. Our guard goes up. But when you go to somebody and you say, B'ni, you're my son, I love you. You're my son, I'm invested in you, I care about you. You know, the Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us that people get jealous of one another. Gemara in Sanhedrin, Kufay Amud Beis. Gemara says, B'chol Adam Miskana Chutz Mi B'no V'Talmido. A person can get jealous of anyone. You see what someone else has. That person has a bigger audience for their shir. That person knows more Torah. That person has more wealth to give tzedakah. That person has more friends and followers and fame and influence online. Person can be jealous or envious of anyone. Chutz, say Chazal, mi b'no v'talmido. You're really, really sick in the head. You're really dysfunctional if you're competing with and jealous of your own child. If you're jealous with your own child's success, a real parent is not jealous or competing with their child. That is a source of pride. Why? Because their child is an extension of them. I've shared many times. My uncle, Rabbi Lazar, Zichron Lavracha, once said at a bris of a grandchild, when we say Ze'akatan Gadol Yiyeh, what we mean is Ze'akatan Gadol Mimeni Yiyeh. May this child surpass me. May this child, I want him to be smarter than me, more righteous than me, have more kavanah than me, know more than me, learn more than me. I want him to be wealthier than I am and give more tzedakah than I do. Nothing would give me greater pride and joy than if they surpass me. Ze'akatan Gadol Mimeni. What a bracha, what a wish, what a dream, what a want that we have for our children to surpass us. So, A person could compete. B'chol adam miskana. You're jealous, you compete, you're envious of everyone around you. Chutz, if you're jealous of your child, v'talmido. Now, talmido should be your children. We know Chazal Darshan that our children are our talmidim, talmidim are our children. A rebbe should love a student like it's its own child. And when your child surpasses you, your student surpasses you, your student opens their own yeshiva, your student becomes a Magid Shir, your student publishes Forum, your student grows and gains acclaim. So you're not jealous or competing. Wow, what pride you have. They're an extension of you. They're an extension of you. So Shema B'ni. Shema B'ni. Read Iggeres HaRamban with an open mind that it's being communicated to us. We are the Ramban's children. It's coming not from competition. It's not coming from criticism. He's not trying to catch us doing the wrong thing. It's coming from love. It's coming from affection. It's coming from genuine concern. You know, in a healthy marriage, the spouses are open to hearing the constructive feedback and criticism from the other because you know, unlike maybe a friend or acquaintance where they're just criticizing because they want to feel superior to me, they want to put me down, they feel better about themselves, they're competing with me. A spouse, we draw pride and satisfaction from each other's success. So if there's criticism, it's because you're me and I'm you. We're two halves of a whole, and we want to be better together. So we're open to hearing. And that's the mentality, that's the attitude. Chazal say, Divrei Chachamim, Benachas Nishma'im. When we communicate, Benachas Nishma'im, we have to communicate with love. Not trying to catch people. It's not a harsh criticism. Not trying to knock people down or make them feel bad about themselves. It's coming from love. Shema B'ni. Says the Ramban, reading my letter. Not just my literal son back in Spain, but everyone who will read my letter. No, it's coming from love. I don't feel better, superior, holier than thou. I'm not coming to criticize or knock you down. I'm coming with love. Benachas Nishma'im. Benachas Nishma'im. Shloach Kadosh says when Yaakov Avinu approaches the shepherds, when he gets to the well, sun is still high in the sky, it's the middle of the day, they've already called it a day. They've already punched out. He says, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're paid to work the whole day. What are you doing? And they say, oh, Taki, you're right, we'll go back to work. The Shloach Kadosh wonders, who in the world says that? Some stranger walks up to you, criticizes you, offers unsolicited advice. What are you doing? Calling it a day. It's the middle of the day. Get back to work. And instead of punching him in the nose, instead of telling him where he can go, they say, oh, Taka, you're right. That's a good point. How? So the Shloach Kadosh says, because what did Yaakov say? Vayomer lehem Yaakov. Yaakov walks up. Bereshis Chavtes, Pasuk Dalet. Yaakov walks up and he says, Achai me'ayin atem. Hey, brothers, where you from? Where you from? Says the Shloach, you know why? Because Yaakov started with the word Achai. Hey, brothers, what's going on? What's up? Where you from? Tell me a little about you. How you doing? And then once he develops a rapport and a relationship, once they know it's coming from a perspective of Achai, a brother, so now they're open to hearing what he has to say. Now they're open to hearing his criticism. Shema B'ni. Whenever we're going to communicate to our own children or to our students or to our congregants or to our employees, but if we're giving feedback, first we have to create a foundation and establish Achai, B'ni. You're my brother. You're my son. I'm not just trying to feel better about myself by coming to criticize you. It's coming from love, from affection. We need to know that the person who's sharing that feedback with us loves us. If our parent has something to say, it may not be the best time, we may not really want to hear it, but they love us. And we should receive it from where it's coming from the Ramban, from the Ribono Shalom. Hocheach tochiach, we read in last week's parsha, we'll end with this. Hocheach tochiach es amisecha. Why the double language? So we saw, the Heilige Rach Meshivka brings down, Hocheach kama tochiach es amisecha. Hocheach, first give yourself musar and ask yourself, why am I about to rebuke my friend? Am I driven by the right reason? Is it from love and affection, care and concern? I want to make him or her better? Or is it coming because it makes me feel better about myself that I can knock someone else? Hocheach, first check with yourself. And when it checks out that you're driven by the right motivation, then and only then, tochiach es amisecha. So we did a whole other word, 3 more letters today. B'ni. Shema, we typed Shema, and now B'ni. Now B'ni. The next time we'll get to Musar Avicha, Torah Simecha. I would have thought it'd be the Torah of Avicha, the Musar of Imecha. Where does that come from? And when we finish the pasuk in Mishlei, we'll be ready to dive into the Ramban. May we hear Besoros Dovos. It should be a good day for Klal Yisrael. The hostages come home and we have a sweeping victory in the war.